What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Fuel channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, we give our takes on the NFL. It is Thursday, December 21st, 2023, and this is your NFL Week 16 picks and predictions. I cannot believe I just said that. We are 15 weeks into the NFL season, 16 weeks this week. It's Christmas. It is Christmas. And before I talk about football, appreciate this week because it's special. The week leading up to Christmas is always special. I don't know what it is, but I get excited getting some gifts for my family members because I'm excited to see their reactions on Christmas Day. Like, I'm excited to see what my brother thinks. I'm excited to see what my mother thinks. I'm excited to see what my father thinks. I'm excited to see what my grandfather thinks, so on and so forth. And it's a day to spend with, it's one of the best days of the year to spend the entire day with your loved ones, celebrating a great holiday. It's like your birthday. You wake up and you're just in a great spirit. Why? Because that's what you're taught. When it's your birthday, you celebrate. And it's the same thing with Christmas. You wake up and you're in a great spirit. You're immediately in a great mood. Sometimes I wake up and I'm in a shitty mood. And I'm not doing too well. And I'm just not feeling it. Christmas, always. I'm up. I'm happy. It's 7:30. I want to open my presents. I want my family members to open their presents. It's the one thing that can't happen. I'll never forget it. Last year, the Miami Dolphins losing to the Green Bay Packers ruined my Christmas. And I was in a terrible mood the entire day. And then when I'm like sitting in the living room and family members are telling stories, I have to throw on a fake smile. You know, when sometimes, you know the scenario when sometimes you're sitting in the living room with your family member and they're telling some story that you couldn't give two shits about, and you have to throw a fake smile. That right there. So, I'm excited. Be grateful. Be thankful. And just enjoy the moment. That's all I gotta say about Christmas. And Christmas Eve on Sunday, obviously, it's a big day. Christmas Day as well. Can't wait. We're going to get into Week 16, though. There's some big games this weekend. Starting tonight, we're going to get into it all. I have to apologize. My last video, the audio was terrible. I don't know what was up with the audio, but I was super frustrated with it. And I got to get that fixed. I'm hoping the audio is good on this video. I apologize for anybody who watched that video. There's like, this dude's audio is fucked up. What the hell is going on? I apologize. So, yeah. If you haven't already, before we get in, any Miami Dolphins fan watching, be sure to go ahead and check out the post-game recap video of the Miami Dolphins against the New York Jets. It will be at the end of the video. All you have to do is click the link, click the video when it pops up in the last 20 seconds of the video, and it'll take you right to it. But of course, don't do that until you've watched the entirety of this video. Let's get into the games. Starting tonight, there's a decent matchup. It's a pretty big matchup as far as NFC wildcard teams go. You got the New Orleans Saints going down to SoFi Stadium against the Los Angeles Rams. Now, this is a big game for me because fantasy playoffs begin this week in my league. I know that a lot of people in their fantasy leagues, the fantasy playoffs started last week. Mine starts this week, and it goes to Week 18. And with C.J. Stroud out again, I got to go with Matthew Stafford as my starting quarterback. And I got Kyron Williams as one of my running backs. So I'm going to have a lot of interest in this game, hoping for the Rams to do good. And I do think the Rams are going to do good. I think the Saints defense is very vulnerable. They got a good matchup last week, even though I did think the Giants were going to beat the Saints last week with Tommy DeVito. The Rams, their offense is just really good right now. And they put 31 up on one of the best defenses in the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens. They just faced the worst defense in the NFL, the Washington Commanders, and they put up 28 on them. And I expect the Rams to continue to do their thing. I read a stat line last night that in his career, in 3 games against the Los Angeles Rams, Derek Carr has 0 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. So Derek Carr hates playing the Los Angeles Rams. Makes me even more confident about this matchup. I like the Rams at home to roll the New Orleans Saints on Thursday Night Football. Then we get to the 2 Saturday games, and they're not, let's just say they're not the best. You look at the beginning of the season and you look at Week 16, I'm like, ooh, both these games have potential. Now you get the Bengals with Jake Browning, who's on a 3-game winning streak. That's a really nice story. Against Pittsburgh, whose defense is okay, but their offense is the drizzling shits, to the fact that George Pickens decides not to block for Jaylen Warren because he doesn't want to get rolled up on. George Pickens is a terrible teammate. I think the Steelers have thrown in the towel for this season. I really do. Mason Rudolph is going to be the starting quarterback on Saturday against Cincinnati. Their offense stinks. There's going to be a lot of question marks going into the offseason for the Steelers as far as the quarterback, because when you have an offense with guys like Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren, Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, you should succeed. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are not succeeding this season. I'm going to take the Bengals. I'm going to take the Bengals in this one. Low scoring, but they find a way to get it done. And then 8 o'clock on Peacock, we have, so if you're not subscribed to Peacock, if you're interested in the Buffalo Bills against the Chargers, which I don't know how you can be, because the Bills are going to absolutely curb stomp Easton Stick in the Los Angeles Chargers, then you're going to have to subscribe to Peacock. And I basically just told you who's going to win that game. As much as I hate the Buffalo Bills, as a Dolphins fan, they're getting a gift the last 2 weeks before Week 18 against the Dolphins. They're getting a gift playing the Chargers and the Patriots the next 2 weeks with backup quarterbacks. They're not losing. They're not losing. And I'm confident to say that in each of those 2 games, they're going to win by 3 touchdowns. So, I got the Bills over the Chargers. Now we go into the Sunday games on Christmas Eve, and I'm going to get the games out of the way that just don't matter on Sunday. Packers, Panthers, I'm going to take the Packers. Commanders, Jets in the Tank Bowl. Trevor Siemian's the starting quarterback for the Jets. I can't pick the Jets in this matchup. I don't know how they're favored. This is the worst offense in the NFL against the worst defense in the NFL. I'm going to go with the Commanders, even though it's in MetLife Stadium. Seahawks, Titans. Will Levis might not be playing in this game. Seahawks coming off their best win of the season. Geno Smith is back. I'm taking the Seahawks. Cardinals, Bears at 4:25. I don't know why this is not a 1 o'clock kickoff. I'll take the Bears. And then Sunday Night Football on the NFL Network. Patriots, Broncos. Talk about an ugly game. That will be an ugly game. I'm taking the Broncos at home. I think the Patriots will cover the spread, which is 6.5, but the Broncos will find a way to win an ugly game. Now we can get into the games that matter on Sunday, and then we have 3 Christmas Day games. Colts-Falcons. The Colts are coming off a 30-13 win against the Pittsburgh Steelers, while the Falcons are coming off a 9-7 loss to the Carolina Panthers. And once again, the Falcons are making a change at quarterback, basically telling the media they have given up on Desmond Ridder after one season. I just don't think Arthur Smith's a good head coach. He was a good offensive coordinator in Tennessee, but him as a head coach, it's not panning out well. And that's what happens with some guys in the NFL. Look at Vic Fangio for an example. Vic Fangio is one of the best defensive minds in the NFL, and as a defensive coordinator, he's unbelievable. But as a head coach, he didn't pan out well as a head coach for the Denver Broncos when he was there from 2019 to 2021. I think the same thing with Arthur Smith. He's a good offensive coordinator, but he's not panning out well as a head coach for the Atlanta Falcons. Taylor Heineke is going to be starting for the Falcons. And this is one of the games. Falcons are just a better team at home. And I just got a gut feeling that this is going to be one of the games where the Falcons are going to pull one out. And Taylor Heineke is going to play just good enough to get the win against the Colts. So even though the spread's 1 for the Falcons, I'm going to take the Falcons to win this game at home. Then we get to the Browns and Texans, a quarterback matchup of Joe Flacco against Case Keenum. And if you told me that late in the season, one of the bigger games on Week 16 would be a quarterback matchup between Joe Flacco and Case Keenum, I would stare at you in the face and ask if you're high. The Browns just keep on winning, man. And the story of Joe Flacco it's really fun right now. He was on his couch for Thanksgiving, and now he's playing football for the Cleveland Browns, and he's been tearing it up the last 2 weeks. 300 passing yards against the Jags. Last week, even though he threw 3 picks, nearly 400 passing yards against the Chicago Bears. The story of Joe Flacco is really fun right now, man. And if C.J. Stroud was playing in this game, I'm taking the Texans. But reports are coming out that C.J. Stroud still is in concussion protocol and is not ready to play. So I'm going to take the Browns. That team just keeps on winning. They find ways to win, and that's what good teams do this time of the year. I'm taking the Browns. Lions, Vikings. I had full belief a couple weeks ago that the Vikings were going to be a playoff team, even if they got in as a 6 or 7 seed and they have to play the 49ers in the first round or whoever they play in the first round. But they are an absolute mess at quarterback. I can't trust them. And right now, if you asked me who are the top 5 teams in the NFL, I would put the Detroit Lions at number 3. I don't know how deep of a playoff run they're going to have, but they're going to have a home playoff game. That's for damn sure. And the crowd's going to be unbelievable for that game. And, the Lions, to clinch the NFC North, they got to beat the Vikings. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen this week. Give me the Detroit Lions to make history and clinch the NFC North for the first time in franchise history. Congratulations, Lions fans. Congratulations. Now we go to the 4 o'clock game on Sunday. And by the way, if you're expecting me to talk about the Cowboys-Dolphins game, you gotta wait for tomorrow's preview. Gonna have a lot to say on that game. So if you want to know my thoughts on that game, you have to wait for tomorrow's preview. The other 4 o'clock game, Jaguars Bucks. And the way I look at this is Baker Mayfield is one of the hotter quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and Trevor Lawrence is coming off an abysmal performance last week, putting up 7 points against the Baltimore Ravens on prime time. And the way I look at this game is one team was 8-3, and they've kind of fallen off a cliff, and they've collapsed a little bit, and they let go of their division lead, and I don't even know if they're going to win the division anymore. And then on the other team, they were 4-7. Baker Mayfield goes to Lambeau Field, beats the Packers, gets a game-winning drive against the Atlanta Falcons 2 weeks ago, and the Buccaneers are in first place of the NFC South at 7-7. I'm going to go ahead and take the Buccaneers in this matchup because I got to ride with the hot hand. And right now, the Jacksonville Jaguars are not hot. In fact, they're collapsing, and the Buccaneers, they're kind of making a late season run, and seeing this Buccaneers team in the playoffs could be fun. It could be fun to see them go up against a team like the Dallas Cowboys or the Philadelphia Eagles in the first round. Then we get into the Christmas Day games. Just going to blow by these 2 games real quick. 1 o'clock on CBS. We got the Raiders and the Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 10. Divisional game. Chiefs are kind of struggling even though they beat the Patriots. I'm going to take the Chiefs, but I think it's going to be a really close game. I think this could be an exciting game. I really do. I actually quite look forward to this game. And then the second game, 4:30, Eagles at home against the Giants, and the Eagles are just pissed off. They're just pissed off losing 3 games in a row, allowing a 92-yard drive to Drew Lock for the Seahawks to win the game. The Eagles are going to come out pissed off. The Eagles are 12-point favorites. I think they're going to absolutely stomp the Giants on Christmas Day. And everything will be back to normal for Philadelphia Eagle fans. But the final game, and quite possibly the biggest game of Week 16 besides Cowboys-Dolphins, is Monday Night Football between the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers. A possible Super Bowl preview, if you really want to think about it. And I'm quite surprised, man, because the 49ers are favored by 5.5 points against an 11-3 Baltimore Ravens team. And you look at the last 7 Monday Night Football games, the underdogs have won. And I think this is going to be a great game. And the loss to Keaton Mitchell for the Baltimore Ravens is big. That's a big loss for them. And I don't know how they're going to fill the void, but I'm taking the Ravens in my upset pick of the week to beat the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football. But if you're a Dolphins fan, you're cheering hard for the San Francisco 49ers to win this game on Monday night. Matter of fact, if you're a Dolphins fan, I'm going to give you the full rundown of teams to cheer for it this week. So Saturday, in case the Dolphins collapse, you want to cheer for the Steelers to beat the Bengals. You also want to cheer for the Chargers to somehow find a miracle and beat the Buffalo Bills. I don't think it's happening. Again, in case the Dolphins collapse, you want the Falcons to beat the Colts. You also want the Texans to beat the Browns. You want Tampa Bay to beat Jacksonville. And you want the Raiders to beat the Chiefs. And you want the 49ers to beat the Baltimore Ravens. So that's all I got. Those are your Week 16 NFL predictions. And I will be back on here tomorrow to talk about the preview of the Miami Dolphins against the Dallas Cowboys. The game on Sunday. It is the game, folks. I'm so excited, but at the same time, I want to shit my pants thinking about this game. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Comment down below your predictions for Week 16. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. And follow me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy. And I'm out. Peace.